What was the biggest challenging of, you know, casting for the Traitors?
Honestly, trying to make sure we represent as many people as possible. We only had a pretty small cast, 20 people is really not that much. And you want to be able to get everyone in there, right? So it's really, really important for us to obviously have the diversity within the cast. We want the different personality types, we want the different races, we want the different types of, jobs. So trying to get all of that and to be cohesive was probably the hardest part. It's like a big puzzle piece.
But what do you look for in the individual cast members? Like, because it's not just, they fit the thing, they have to actually fit in what you're trying to do.
Right. Yeah. So every cast member, like we said in the panel, I made sure that we always had different jobs. We started there, especially with the psychological element. We wanted to make sure that we had people from, different backgrounds, like political. We wanted people that, your everyday man. We had an actor in there. We had every different types of facets, and then from there, we wanted to make sure those personalities all blended. So you want someone that's like a little bit more gullible. You want someone that is, really intelligent. You want an over talker. You want all of those, and that's what makes a beautiful recipe for a great television show.
Well, I guess in the past, sometimes everybody be homogenous and kind of not. You want people with different points of view, just because it's kind of boring without it.
Exactly.
All right, so a lot of my students ask me, how does one become a casting director? When did you know that you could do something you love, but someone would give you money for it?
Oh, I fell into it. I had no idea I wanted to do casting. I went in for an office production assistant job, and literally as I was walking through the door, they said, "Hey, we actually filled the position, but do you want to be a casting assistant?" And I said, "Sure, I need a job. I've just moved to LA, I need something." And I fell into it, and I loved it because it was something that I already consumed, and I don't think a lot of people think casting of a job is a job. So it's like, oh my gosh, like, this is great. I get to find cool people that are just on the streets or on Twitter or on Reddit or, TikTok and put them on TV, and then they become famous.
Well, so then it's important to put yourself out there because, production, internships, things that maybe you weren't even thinking you would go into.
Yeah, absolutely. I think networking is really number one, being able to put yourself out there and talk to different people, slide into someone's LinkedIn, messages. I do that all the time, and that's how I make connections of people that I normally never have access to. I had, women reach out to me and say, "Oh, I didn't know casting was a job, especially reality TV casting. Like, how do I get into it?" And it's really just talking to us, networking, and seeing if there's job openings. Because when someone comes and reaches out to me and sends me that resume, there might be that time that, like, actually, I'm hiring right now, and I can put them on. Yeah.
Now, conversely, now we have a lot of actors that watch that show who might be really talented.
Yeah.
But really terrible at pitching or coming to the casting room.
Yes.
That's not their fault. But no, of course, I was terrible as a pitcher, when it came to writing. So my question is, so what do you recommend? Like, what is something you would say, okay, if you go into a casting room, make sure you do this or make sure you don't do this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously be on time, number one. There's a lot of people that always forget, like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this. I need, they get like 5 minutes late. First impressions are really everything. If you come prompt, you come ready, you come prepared, that's number one. And then just give it your all. It's going to take practice. You're not going to land every role, and that's okay, because that's just going to better you for your next audition.